Biafrans all over the world, lovers of freedom, wherever they may be, those listening to us at this very hour, this very time, because I do know that you have extensive listenership all over the world. And it is an honor and privilege for me to be on your program. But above all, I must also thank the Most High, who is in heaven, presiding.
My wonderful people, welcome back to the channel. If you're just joining us, a big welcome to you. Before we dive deep into today's very serious gist, if you haven't already, do me a big favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. What I'm about to tell you is happening in real time and you need to be in the know. So let's talk about the headline that has been everywhere. Breaking: DSS Alerts Presidency as Nnamdi Kanu sends fresh warning from detention. Nigeria tense. Now, what is the real tea? What is the fresh warning? Let me break it down for you. Recently, there was no direct public statement from Nnamdi Kanu himself. Instead, the big news came from his legal team. His special counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, sent a very serious and urgent letter to the Director General of the DSS. This wasn't just any letter, it was a formal request for urgent medical attention, saying that Kanu's health is getting worse in detention. The letter dated September 23, 2025, specifically asked for approval to admit Kanu into a proper hospital called Clover Hospital in Abuja. They said the situation was so urgent that the hospital was ready to receive him immediately. So in a way, this urgent cry for help is a form of a serious warning about a deteriorating situation inside the detention facility. Now, this is where the story connects. You see, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, the group that Kanu leads, also raised the alarm. They warned the Nigerian government and even the international community that there would be what they called dire consequences if anything happens to their leader while in custody. They accused the DSS of deliberately endangering his life through prolonged detention and not giving him proper medical care. So the fresh warning in that headline combines this legal plea for help with the strong political warning from his supporters. Now, let me give you a small background for those who are just hearing about this case. Nnamdi Kanu has been in DSS custody since 2021 when he was brought back to Nigeria from Kenya. His trial has been going on for years. In fact, just recently, the Federal High Court in Abuja, under Justice James Omotosho, has set a date for judgment on the terrorism charges against him. Mark your calendars, people. That judgment is scheduled for November 20, 2025. This is a very key date. The court arrived at this point because it said the government had established a prima facie case against him, meaning they presented enough evidence that he should answer to the charges. The court gave Kanu the opportunity to open his defense, but he consistently refused, saying he would not do so until the court explained to him under what law he was being charged. So the judge finally said, since he has waived his right to defend himself, the only option left is to adjourn for judgment. Another interesting part of this drama is about his health. Earlier, the court had asked the Nigerian Medical Association NMA to check Kanu's health status. The NMA reported back that while he had some health conditions, they were not life-threatening, and that the DSS medical facility was equipped to treat him. Based on that report, the court denied an application to transfer him to the National Hospital. But now, his lawyer is saying his health is worsening, which is why they need a proper hospital. This is the contradiction that is now causing a lot of tension. Now, this is the part where I want you to really pay attention. I need you to like this video and subscribe to the channel because understanding this next point is very important. There is a lot of fake news flying around about this case. For instance, earlier this year in January 2025, a false story spread on Facebook claiming that the DSS had announced that Nnamdi Kanu escaped from detention through an underground tunnel. Africa Check, a fact-checking organization, investigated this and found it to be completely false. There was no such announcement, and the photos used were old pictures. So my people, we must always be careful about the information we share. Always verify from credible sources. All right, let's now connect this to a bigger talk. The situation with Nnamdi Kanu is not happening in isolation. It is a very sensitive issue that touches on deep-seated feelings about justice, rule of law, and the agitation for self-determination. When IPOB says that his continued detention is an act of provocation that could plunge the Southeast into turmoil, it is a statement that we cannot afford to ignore. The government has a responsibility to ensure he gets proper medical care as his well-being is in their hands. At the same time, the judiciary is moving forward with its process, with a judgment coming up in just a few days. So, what does all this mean? It means the next 1 week is absolutely critical. The judgment on November 20th could be a major turning point in this long-running legal and political saga. While the DSS is dealing with the alert concerning Nnamdi Kanu, the Nigerian military has been very active. In fact, just in the past few days, the air component of Operation Hadarin Daji carried out major airstrikes in Zamfara State. They targeted the hideouts of a notorious terrorist kingpin known as Abdullahi Nasanda in the Maru local government area. The military said the strikes were successful and that many terrorists were neutralized. This is a significant operation because these same terrorists have been responsible for attacks, kidnappings, and the disruption of daily life in that region. So, on one hand, you have this major military success against terrorists in the northwest, and on the other hand, you have this high-stakes legal and political drama concerning the southeast. This shows you that the security situation in Nigeria is multifaceted and very complex. The government is practically fighting on several fronts to ensure stability. Now, let's bring it back to the main gist. The fresh warning from Nnamdi Kanu's camp, through his lawyer, is not just a medical request. It is a very powerful political statement. It is saying to the government, the health and safety of this man, who is a very symbolic figure to millions of people, is your responsibility. If anything happens to him, the consequences could be severe. This is why the DSS had to alert the presidency. They are not just dealing with a detainee, they are managing a potential national crisis. The presidency needs to be aware of every development because any misstep could have widespread repercussions, especially in the southeastern states where his supporters are very strong. You see, my people, this is more than just a court case. It is about perception, about justice, and about the delicate balance of our nation. The government has to handle this in a way that follows the rule of law while also being sensitive to the very real emotions that this case stirs up. And this is where I want to talk to you, the viewers. This situation affects all of us. No matter where you are from in Nigeria, stability in one part of the country contributes to stability in the whole country. When there is tension in the southeast, it can affect business, travel, and unity for everyone. When there are successful military operations in the northwest, it brings a relief to the entire nation. We are all connected. So, what can we do as citizens? First, we must pray for our country. We must pray for wisdom for our leaders and for peace to reign. Second, we must be careful about the information we share on social media. As we saw with the fake news about Kanu's escape, spreading false information can add more fuel to the fire. Let's be agents of peace. And third, we must stay informed from credible sources. That is why we are here, to break down these complex issues in a simple way that everyone can understand. The coming days are very crucial. All eyes will be on the Federal High Court in Abuja come November 20th. The judgment that will be delivered on that day will be a landmark one, and it will shape the conversation around this issue for a long time to come. My wonderful people, that's the gist for today. We have broken down the headline, looked at the real-time events, and connected it to the bigger picture of what is happening in Nigeria. I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you learned something new, please do me that great favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the next update. Let's know your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think will happen on November 20? Share your opinions.